Honey, with its golden hue and velvety texture, has been revered for centuries. This natural sweetener, crafted by bees from the nectar of blossoms, has graced our tables and sweetened our lives. Ancient civilizations recognized honey not just as a food source, but also for its medicinal properties. From wound healing to soothing sore throats, honey quickly earned its place as a household staple. Even today, many people turn to honey as a natural alternative to processed sugar. Its rich, complex flavor profile adds depth to teas, baked goods, and even savory dishes. It's no wonder that honey, with its wholesome image, continues to captivate our senses and sweeten our palates. However, behind this idyllic image of purity lies a bitter truth. The honey industry, like many food industries before it, has fallen prey to fraudulent practices. Increasing demand, coupled with a lack of stringent regulations, has paved the way for adulterated honey to infiltrate our supermarket shelves. What we often purchase, believing it to be pure and natural, might be far from the real deal. This raises serious questions about what we consume and the trust we place in food labels. Honey adulteration is a complex issue, often involving sophisticated techniques to mask the true nature of the product. The most common method involves diluting pure honey with cheaper sweeteners. High fructose corn syrup, cane sugar syrup, and even rice syrup are often used to increase the volume of honey, thus maximizing profits. These added sugars not only compromise the flavor and nutritional value of real honey, but also mislead consumers who believe they are purchasing a natural product. The deception doesn't end there. Some producers go to great lengths to mimic the characteristics of genuine honey. They might add artificial colors and flavors to replicate the appearance and taste of specific honey varieties like Manuka or Acacia. In some cases, enzymes are added to artificially inflate the pollen count, a key indicator of honey's purity. These deceptive practices make it increasingly difficult for consumers to distinguish between real and fake honey based solely on sight, smell, or even taste. The global nature of the honey trade further complicates the issue of adulteration. Honey often changes hands multiple times, traveling across continents before reaching our tables. This complex supply chain creates opportunities for unethical practices, making it difficult to pinpoint the source of adulteration. Some exporters, driven by profit, engage in what is known as honey laundering. They mix adulterated honey with pure honey from different origins to obscure its true nature, making it even harder to trace and regulate. The lack of transparency in the honey industry allows such fraudulent practices to thrive. Current labeling standards often fail to provide consumers with adequate information about the origin and purity of the honey they purchase. While some countries have stricter regulations, the global nature of the trade means that adulterated honey can easily slip through the cracks, ending up on supermarket shelves far from its point of origin. The consequences of consuming adulterated honey extend far beyond mere economic fraud. While pure honey offers numerous health benefits, adulterated honey can pose risks to unsuspecting consumers. Those with allergies to certain types of pollen or sweeteners may experience unexpected reactions. Moreover, consuming large quantities of hidden added sugars can contribute to health issues such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. The economic impact of honey adulteration is equally significant. Beekeepers who work tirelessly to maintain their hives and produce genuine honey are undercut by fraudulent producers selling adulterated honey at lower prices. This unfair competition threatens the livelihoods of honest beekeepers and undermines consumer trust in the entire honey industry. As consumers become more aware of the prevalence of fake honey, they may be less likely to purchase honey at all, further impacting the livelihoods of those who depend on this industry. To understand the scale of honey adulteration, it's essential to trace the journey of honey from hive to home. The process begins with beekeepers who carefully tend to their bee colonies, ensuring the bees have access to a variety of flowering plants. Bees collect nectar from these flowers and store it in their honeycombs, where it undergoes a natural transformation into honey. Beekeepers then harvest the honeycombs, extracting the honey and preparing it for packaging. From the beekeeper, the honey often travels through a complex supply chain. it might go to a honey packer who bottles and labels the honey for retail sale. Alternatively, it might go to a honey wholesaler who sells the honey in bulk to food manufacturers or retailers. Each step in this chain presents opportunities for adulteration. Honey packers and wholesalers might be tempted to cut corners, adding cheaper syrups to increase their profits. Section 6. Spotting the fake identifying authentic honey. While the widespread adulteration of honey might seem disheartening, there are ways for consumers to identify genuine honey. One simple test involves checking the honey's viscosity. Real honey tends to be thick and slow to flow, while adulterated honey, often thinned with syrups, will drip or pour more easily. Another method is the thumb test. Dip your thumb into the honey and try to lift it. Pure honey will adhere to your thumb and slowly release in a thin, unbroken strand. Examining the label can also offer clues about the honey's authenticity. Look for honey that is labeled as raw or unfiltered, as these types of honey are less likely to have been subjected to heat treatment or filtration processes that can remove beneficial enzymes and pollen. Be wary of honey labeled as multifloral or blend, as these terms might be used to mask the addition of honey from various potentially dubious sources. Section 7. Beyond the label, demanding transparency. Identifying real honey shouldn't be left solely to consumers armed with rudimentary tests. There is a pressing need for greater transparency and stricter regulations within the honey industry. Governments and regulatory bodies need to implement robust testing methods to detect adulteration and enforce stricter labeling requirements. Traceability systems using technology like blockchain can help track the journey of honey from hive to shelf, ensuring accountability and transparency at each stage of the supply chain. Consumers also have a powerful voice in demanding change. By supporting beekeepers who adhere to ethical practices and purchasing honey from reputable sources, consumers can incentivize transparency and authenticity within the industry. Engaging with food advocacy groups and raising awareness about honey adulteration can also pressure regulatory bodies to take action and protect consumers from fraudulent practices. Section 8. The buzz about organic, a safer alternative. In the face of widespread adulteration, many consumers are turning to organic honey as a safer alternative. Organic honey is produced according to strict standards that prohibit the use of synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and antibiotics in beekeeping practices. While organic certification doesn't guarantee that the honey is free from adulteration, it does provide a higher level of assurance regarding the beekeeping practices and the overall quality of the honey. However, it's important to note that organic honey often comes at a premium price, making it inaccessible to some consumers. Furthermore, the organic honey market is not immune to fraudulent practices. As with conventional honey, consumers should remain vigilant and purchase organic honey from trusted sources, looking for certifications from reputable organizations. Section 9. Sweet Justice, protecting consumers and bees. The issue of honey adulteration is a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities within our food system. It highlights the need for greater vigilance, stricter regulations, and a renewed focus on ethical practices throughout the supply chain. By demanding transparency, supporting honest producers, and staying informed, consumers can play a crucial role in combating honey fraud and ensuring that the honey we consume is indeed the liquid gold we believe it to be. Protecting the integrity of honey is not just about safeguarding a delicious natural sweetener. It's also about protecting the livelihoods of beekeepers and the vital role bees play in our ecosystem. Bees are essential pollinators, responsible for the reproduction of countless plant species that contribute to our food supply and biodiversity. By supporting ethical honey production, we are not just ensuring the purity of our honey, but also contributing to the health of our planet and the well-being of future generations.